Walking the razor's edge, the middle way beyond yes and no. By the Backyard Buddhist. Not too tight. Not too loose. Not caught in is, not trapped in is not. The Buddha's middle way is subtler and more liberating than we often think. The first turning, not two extremes. When we first encounter the middle way, Majjhima Paṭipadā, it's usually framed as a balance between opposites. That's not wrong, but it's only the surface. In the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the Buddha's first discourse after awakening, he lays it out plainly. There are these two extremes, anta, that ought not to be practiced, devotion to sensual pleasure, and devotion to self-mortification. Avoiding both these extremes, the Tathagata has awakened to the middle way. Already, something important is happening. The middle way is not merely compromise. It is a transcendence of the entire framework that produces extremes in the first place. It is not a little indulgence, a little asceticism. It is freedom from the compulsion to oscillate between them. The deeper cut, beyond is and is not. The middle way sharpens significantly when we move into the philosophical discourses of the Kaccānagotta Sutta. Here, the Buddha dismantles something far more fundamental than lifestyle imbalance. This world, Kaccāna, for the most part depends upon a duality, upon the notion of existence and the notion of non-existence. And then the critical line. But for one who sees the origin of the world as it really is with correct wisdom, there is no notion of non-existence. And for one who sees the cessation of the world as it really is, there is no notion of existence. This is where the middle way stops being ethical advice and becomes ontological surgery. The Buddha is not asking us to choose between everything exists and nothing exists. He is pointing out that both positions arise from misperception. The middle way here is not the midpoint between affirmation and negation, it is the collapse of the need for either. Dependent origination, the mechanism of the middle. To understand how this works, we have to look at paṭicca-samuppāda, dependent origination. Again from the same teaching. With ignorance as condition, formations. With formations as condition, consciousness. Thus is the origin of this whole mass of suffering. And with the cessation of ignorance comes cessation of formations. Thus is the cessation of this whole mass of suffering. This is not a metaphysical claim about existence or non-existence. It is a process description. Things don't exist independently. They don't fail to exist either. They arise dependently. The middle way is this insight lived directly. Not eternalism, sasata dihi. Not annihilationism, ukeda dihi. But conditionality without clinging. The lute-string, practice, not philosophy. There's a danger here. This can all become abstract very quickly. The Buddha anticipates this and grounds the middle way in lived practice. In the Sona Sutta, he offers a famously practical analogy. When the strings of your lute were too tight, was it well tuned? No, Lord. And when they were too loose? No, Lord. But when they were neither too tight nor too loose, then it was well tuned. The middle way is not just a doctrine, it is a felt calibration. You know it. In how you sit. In how you breathe. In how you speak. In how you respond to suffering. It is not conceptual balance, it is attunement. The Eightfold Path, structure of the middle. The middle way is operationalized as the Noble Eightfold Path. Right view. Right intention. Right speech. Right action. Right livelihood. Right effort. Right mindfulness. Right concentration. But even here, we have to be careful. Right, samma, doesn't mean morally rigid or doctrinally correct. It points toward alignment with reality as it is. The middle way is not a rulebook, it's a mode of seeing and being. Emptiness without nihilism. Later traditions, especially in the Madhyaka school, will expand this into the language of emptiness, sunyata, but the seeds are already in the Nikāyas. When the Buddha avoids both exists and does not exist, he is protecting us from reifying phenomena into fixed entities, and dissolving them into nothingness. The middle way preserves function without essence. Things work. They arise. They pass. But they do not possess independent, permanent identity. The existential turn, living the middle. So what does this mean for us, not as scholars, but as practitioners? It means we stop arguing ourselves into corners of certainty. We stop collapsing into despair when things fall apart. We stop clinging to identity as something fixed. Instead, we begin to inhabit the flow of conditions without insisting that they confirm our narratives. The middle way is not indecision. It is freedom from compulsive positioning. A backyard reflection. I've noticed something over the years sitting on my cushion. When the mind gets tight, it wants answers. What is this? What does it mean? Where is this going? And when it gets overwhelmed, it swings the other way. Nothing matters. It's all empty anyway. Both feel convincing. Both are traps. The middle way isn't found by splitting the difference between those two voices. It shows up in the moment when you stop needing either one. Just breath. Just posture. Just this strange, vivid unfolding of experience. Not affirmed. Not denied. Lived.